Hello everyone, in this video we are going to look at the composition function again, and this time we are going to look at the table or the graphs for the function to figure out how do we find the value of composite functions. In the previous lesson, when we talked about the composite function, as we mentioned, when we find the value, when we work on the composite function, we always start from the inside, the very core part of the function. So we are going to use very similar strategies here to figure out these values. Let's check the first question. We are given two tables here. As you can see, the first table is f of x, the second one is g of x, and we're looking for the two values here. The first is f of g of 4. As we mentioned here, we always start with the inside part, so we are going to find what is g of 4. Since we're working on the function of g of x, so we're looking to check the second table here. When x is 4, it's matching to 2. So now, let's go back here. So now the question becomes f of 2 because g of 4 is 2. So since we need to find the value of f of 2, so now we're looking at the first table. When x equal to 2, the y is -1. So the final answer for the first one is -1. For the second one, again, we always start from the inside part, which is f of -1. So x is -1, we are going to look at for the first table. When x equal to -1, the answer is 1. So the inside part is 1. So now original question becomes g of 1. Again, the inside value becomes 1. So g of 1 here, since we're working on the function of g of x, so now we're looking at the second table. When x equal 1, the answer is 1. So the final answer here is 1. So again, the first step, as we did before, is the first step. We look for the inside value, and then we are going to use that value as a new input for the out layer function. Then we find out the final value. Now, let's look at the graph. So this time, we don't have a table anymore. Instead, we have two graphs here. As you can see, the left part is f of x. That's actually very key for us because this is a function. This is the graph we're looking at for the f of x. And the second is g of x. So we know which one we need to look at. Again, we always start with the inside part. So let's figure out what is g of 4. Since we are working from the g of x, so we are going to look at the second graph, g of x. When x equal 4, so we look for the x-axis 4, and then we go up 2 here, and then the value we know is 2. So this value is 2. But remember, we are not done yet. So this time, the original question becomes f of 2 because this is a value of g of 4. The value here becomes our new input for the function f of x. How do we find f of 2? We are looking at the function here. F of 2 here, then answer is 1. That's the first one. So now let's move on to the second one. We're looking at f of 1. So again, always start from the inside. Since we're working on the f of x, we're looking at the graph here. So 1 is here, move up to 5. So this is 5. Then f of 1 is 5. So now we need to look for we are going to rewrite the original question as g of 5 because this is a value of 5. We just replace here. How do we find g of 5? Again, we come to the graph of g of x, and x is 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you can see, the point is on the x-axis, so meaning the y value is 0. Lastly, this one is, sorry, somehow my pen is not working. Let's try it again. So f of 2, this time, again, we start from the inside. F of 2 is 1, so its inside part is 1 here, but we are not done yet. We are going to rewrite the original question as f of g of 1 because this is the value for the f of 2. Now, since we need to find g of 1, so we'll move on to the graph of g of x. X is 1, so we move up to look for the graph. What's the value? Is 4, and that's it. That's how do we find the value based on the table or based on the graph. Again, no matter how many layers of the composite function, we always from the inside part, just like we mentioned for when we introduce a composite function, it's like we use laundry as example. So the dirty clothes is your input. And then the first function is washing. So we need to figure out what is the first function you need to work on. Then we move on to the out layers. I hope this video is helpful. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon, everyone.